Build anything with Gemini 3.1 Pro. Here is how. Google just dropped something that changes everything. One prompt, websites, apps, dashboards, visuals, all from one AI. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it right now. So Google just released Gemini 3.1 Pro. And look, I've tested a lot of AI tools, a lot, but this one is different. This isn't just a chatbot that writes blog posts. This thing builds stuff like real stuff, websites, dashboards, animated graphics, full applications, all from a single prompt. And the best part, you don't need to know how to code. You don't need a design team. You just need to know what to ask for, which is exactly what I'm going to break down for you today. Now, before we get into the good stuff, let me explain what Gemini 3.1 Pro actually is, because there's a lot of noise out there. Gemini 3.1 Pro is Google's newest AI model. Think of it like the brain behind everything Google is building right now, but this version, it's not just a small update. They basically doubled the reasoning power. On a benchmark called ARC AGI2, it scored 77.1%. The old version, less than half that. So when I say this thing is smarter, I mean way smarter. It can think through problems step by step. It can plan. It can handle stuff that used to break other AI models. And here's something that really matters. It has a 1 million token context window. Now, what does that mean in normal words? It means you can throw a massive document at it, an entire code base, a 100-page report, a whole book, and it reads the whole thing. It doesn't forget what you said on page 2 when it gets to page 50. That is a game changer for anyone working on big projects. But wait, it also outputs up to 65,000 tokens. That means it can write long, detailed guides, full website code, and complete project plans in one go. No more asking it to continue, no more copy pasting chunks together, one prompt, one output, done. Now, let me tell you what makes this really exciting. Gemini 3.1 Pro is multimodal. That's a fancy word that means it doesn't just work with text. It understands images, it understands code, it understands design. And you can give it a prompt and it will give you back working code, animated SVGs, interactive prototypes, and even 3D models. Think about that for a second. You describe what you want and it builds it. That's not science fiction anymore. That's today. All right, let's get into the real stuff. How do you actually use Gemini 3.1 Pro to build things? Let me walk you through real use cases. First up, website generation. You can literally type a prompt like build me a landing page for a digital marketing agency with a hero section, testimonials, and a contact form. And Gemini 3.1 Pro will give you the full HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Ready to go? You copy it, you paste it, you have a website. I'm not exaggerating. That's how fast this is. Second, animated graphics. You know those cool animated SVGs you see on modern websites? The ones that move and look really clean? Gemini 3.1 Pro can generate those from a text prompt. You describe the animation you want, it writes the code, you drop it into your site, done, no designer needed. Third, interactive dashboards and prototypes. Let's say you're building a product. You need a dashboard that shows data in real time. You can describe what you need, and Gemini 3.1 Pro will build you a working prototype, not a mock-up, a working version. That alone can change how fast you move on projects. Now, here's where it gets even crazier, because Gemini 3.1 Pro isn't just good at one thing, it's good at connecting things together. Let me explain. You can start with a research document, feed it into Gemini, ask it to pull out the key insights, then ask it to turn those insights into a blog post, then ask it to build a landing page around that blog post, then ask it to create the social media graphics to promote it, all in one session, all from the same AI. That's a full content pipeline handled by one tool. And because the context window is so massive, it remembers everything from the start. So when you ask it to build that landing page, it already knows what the research said. It already knows the key points. It already knows the tone you used in the blog. Everything connects. Nothing gets lost. Let me give you another example. Let's say you run a business and you have 100 pages of customer feedback. Old, you would spend days reading through all of that. New you dump it into Gemini 3.1 Pro, ask it to find the top 10 complaints, ask it to group them by category, ask it to suggest solutions for each one, and then ask it to draft the emails to your team with action steps, all of that from one conversation. That's the power of a 1 million token context window combined with deep reasoning. Let's keep going because there's more. Let me talk about where you can actually access Gemini 3.1 Pro, because Google made this available across a bunch of platforms. You can use it in the Gemini app. You can use it through the Gemini API in Google AI Studio. You can use it in Vertex AI if you're doing enterprise stuff. It's in Notebook LM, which is amazing for research and brainstorming. It's in the Gemini CLI for developers, and it's even in Android Studio. So No matter how you work, there's a way to plug this into what you already do. Now let's talk about something most people skip. The model is designed for what Google calls agentic workflows. That means it doesn't just answer questions, it takes steps. You give it a go, it breaks it down, it figures out what to do first, second, third, and it does it. This is where AI starts to feel less like a tool and more like a team member. You're not micromanaging every step, you're giving it a direction and letting it work. Think about that for SEO. You could tell Gemini 3.1 Pro to analyze your top 10 competitor pages, pull out the content gaps, draft new content to fill those gaps, and structure it for search rankings all in one go. That's not just helpful, that's a completely different way of working. Or think about it for client work. You get a brief from a client, you feed it into Gemini, it drafts the strategy, it builds the outline, it writes the content, it even codes the landing page. What used to take a team a week now takes you an afternoon. And the quality is there because the reasoning is so much better in this version. Let me give you some pro tips before we wrap up. First, be specific with your prompts. The more detail you give Gemini 3.1 Pro, the better the output. Don't just say, make me a website. Say, make me a dark mode landing page for an AI consulting agency with a headline about automation, 3 feature cards, and a call to action button that says book a call. See the difference? Detail is everything. Second, iterate. Your first output might be 80% there. That's fine. Ask it to refine, ask it to change the colors, ask it to make the copy punchier. Each round gets you closer to exactly what you want. Third, use the context window to your advantage. Don't start a new chat for every task. Keep building in the same session. The more context Gemini has, the smarter its outputs get. Feed it your brand guidelines, feed it your tone of voice, feed it examples of what you like, then watch it deliver exactly what you need